Afternoon, people. What is happening? And ain't it great that we ain't having to have a moan up or have to have a therapy session on Arsenal? All the attention has now been shifted to another big club, and it's just good to be able to sit down and relax. I wasn't going to do a daily vibe today, but as you know, I like to do a little bit on other clubs as well, as much as I can, and then obviously we've got the game later on, which I believe could be another win and creates even more momentum and football confidence going forward for Arsenal. But if you've not already, you know the drill. Make sure you hit the like. The dislike bot seems to have left us alone. We've overpowered them, people. Overpower. Community power will always get rid of individuals. I can tell you that. So I hope all is well. Blessings to obviously Brandon. He's saying that he's not well. So he's obviously just listening over. He's not going to be making many comments in the chat, but he is listening. He just put here, thanks, Fran. Hope Ollie stays, but will make me feel better. Yeah, if Ollie stays, mate, I think the Lord will bless you getting better. The One Devotions put big up, Fran. Smash the like button. Thank you for coming in. Endanguna, etc. JCRXZ has put my guy coming in a minute. Absolutely love it, people. As always, Salmon in the building. Great support as always. Lionel, big up, Fran. Gonna hit back workout listening to Mr. Facts. Yeah. Those who don't know, every time I'm on, Lionel goes to the gym at the same time every day. Love the habits, compound effect, and he's got us on rather than some music. So it must be working. I hope he's beasting out. Craig, big up yourself as well. Jansen, big up yourself each and every time. Great support as always, people. And I just thought we would touch on Ollie today and then quickly go over Arsenal later on. Tony's in the building as well. Just to see what's going on with this craziness. And welcome, Brandon. Welcome. There you go. You finally got it. Maybe see illness has made you better now. Welcome to be a member, mate. Really do appreciate it. Thanks ever so much. I'm hoping that we get a certain amount of members soon, within the next maybe couple of weeks, and then do kind of like party stream kind of things like that. Some ideas that we've got going on, which will be good. And maybe the weekend, we've got a big game at the weekend. Maybe try and get some people on as well. But appreciate the support each and every time. Now, Ole Gunnar at Man United, the game the other day, I've watched it on the watch along, was absolutely crazy. But a lot of you have probably already said it. Paul Scholes was saying, in between whatever else he's been doing, that if Man United played like that against Liverpool, they'd get smashed. And he was bang on. Like, these ex-footballers, they haven't played at the top level. They know what they're talking about, albeit it's not easy to be a manager. That's completely different. But with the game, they know what they're speaking about when it actually comes to the fundamentals and what works and what doesn't work in a game. It's very different than to be a manager, because you need to be good at managing, psychology. There's a lot of skills that go in managing. If any of you have got your own business or any of you manage a team, you'll know that you need more skills than just knowing the job to be a manager. Socials in the building, as always. Great support. Jansen, about to smash the workout myself. Hit the workout, people. We love that. I just did a 5K run this morning. God, it was tough. It was tough. Normally I'm running 10, 15K, but I had to get those cobwebs off. Party stream with your intro music. Hey, we could be hyped up. We could do a late Friday night stream, hyped up. That South African banking a bit slow Friday. Yeah, I can imagine, mate. I can imagine. So, as I was saying, players know. They don't always, like you say, they don't always get it right. They don't always can become managers, as we've known, but they kind of know the stuff, the dynamics of how things work behind the scenes. Now, what I did see is, and I get it, as Arsenal fans, I get it. But we was getting quite a lot of stick for moving the way we wanted when we didn't want Arteta around. The way the Man United fans are going on, they have taken it to a next level. They are releasing reports that this guy's sacked left, right, and center. They're leaking reports about players not wanting the manager around. They're all this kind of stuff, right? And I get that, because they want the manager out now. They've finally had enough. And I'm not a Man United supporter, but I get why they're so frustrated. But on the flip side, a part of me being the way that I am, I never want to see a man lose his job. And I had to kind of look at that differently when I was on about the Arteta. I never really, really want to see a man lose his job, because for his pain, that's our pleasure in a way. But it is business. Business is business, and we can't be emotionally attached to that. So then I quickly got round to it and said, Fran, listen, business is business. You can't get attached to that kind of nonsense. listen, if he's not doing the results, he's got to go. Simple as that. Interesting enough, everyone was waiting for him to be sacked. The only reason I believe Ole's not sacked, and most people probably know this, is because they've not managed to get Conte on board. That's all I can think. Conte looks like he's the obvious one. There has been contact, apparently through reports with his representatives, etc., etc. But I just don't think that they can get him on board. Now, there is certain reports. I'll have a quick look now. Let me bring something up because, you know, I like to share sources. This is a Manchester, the evening news over there. So let's just get this up and let's just get rid of the border. Here we are. Went for a jog this morning. Nice. 7 a.m. Interesting how Gary Neville was scratching about Arsenal, but defending Ole and United. It's very, very interesting. It's very, 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 very interesting how people are going it in a completely different way. On board is spineless cowards. Our board, sorry. So Spec 888 is a Man United fan. So it's interesting. All of a sudden now they're going for the Glazers. I think they're trying to change, but Conte is not feeling. I don't believe Conte is not feeling the structure of the club. That's what some reports are saying. I walked to Waitrose this morning at leisurely pace. Nice, active. Movement is movement. You think Ronaldo will apply for the manager position? Fran Lafala already shown his glimpses. He can't be a manager, mate. He doesn't have he can't control his emotions when things don't go right for him. He's like a big child. Big Sam, I'm sure, would join United. This is all PR saying Conte management style doesn't fit our ideas. Nonsense. Hendon's put, what's he put? Yeah, pronunciation. Oh, I thought he said scratching. Sorry. Scathing. I thought you said scratching. Sorry, Hendon. Good. Waitrose. Oh, fancy. Yeah, Curved Glass got some peas. It's fancy. Right then, let me get this up for you, people. Where are we? Is that even on? Right there, let's get this. No, wait. Can't even know where I can get it even bigger. Oh, here we go. We've got an advert on it now. Let's get rid of that advert. Come on, get rid of these adverts, mate. I don't want to see that advert. Right, I don't even know you can see it, and I can't change the. Here we are. Let's get zoomed in. Let's get zoomed in. Here you go, people. You can see that now. Perfect. So basically, Ole apparently he's taken training. Some people were saying that he's not going to take training. He's taking training. They had emergency meetings, etc., left, right, and center, trying to obviously see if they could basically try and get Conte in now. Spec 888 makes a good point about Conte not fitting the way Man United suppose want to play football. Also, there's a lot of people, and I'm going to get onto that actually about the players, but a lot of these players won't be playing for Conte either. I think the people are looking over that as well. They're so fixated on Ole and the Glazers, they're forgetting that they've got a team of weak-minded, selfish individuals. And that's the reality. And playing the game and knowing these players, they have got a core bad. They've got bad apples in that squad who are dictating left, right, and centre. But anyway, we'll get on to that. Let's see what it says here. Turns up to training. Serious doubts were raised over his following, obviously, a humiliation of the 5-0. The club hierarchy has given serious consideration in dismissing Solskjaer, but things stand as he looks to stay of execution. I believe, listen, he's only got 2 games. I also believe even if they win the 3 games and they can get Conte on board, then they would take him. But he's not a massive fan of the structure and the way they want to go forward. With Conte, he's very, very particular. He doesn't want anything out of his control that could cause him to cause his reputation, you know? It came into light yesterday. The players are becoming increasingly baffled. Now, this is worrying if you're a Man United fan. This part here is very, very worrying. Players are becoming increasingly baffled. Now, that has to be leaked from a player. Okay? That's leaked from a player. And there's a few reports flying around. When Maguire came back in, they weren't happy, etc. Things like this. Now, in a football, you've probably played football at any level. When the manager makes crazy decisions, you start asking each other questions around the dressing room. What's going on here? Is he right? Soon as that starts happening, and one of the influential players A Ronaldo, a Pogba, maybe a Bruno Fernandes. He's got that little bit about him. Soon as he starts getting people to believe soon as they start getting the players to believe what they believe, Ole's finished. And I think that's what's happened at this football club. Ole's finished because the likes of Ronaldo, the likes of Pogba, Bruno Fernandes, and there'll be other ones, there'll be quiet ones who not really in the limelight, and they go around snaking, and they'll be snaking the manager. Because they're not happy about whether they're not playing, they're not happy about the style of play, and then it stops the players from working hard for this manager. So he's done. The manager's done, right? The manager's done. And if they keep him, he's got to go on one hell of a running games to try and keep his job, because people are waiting. Sharks are waiting. The snakes are, even his own teammates are the snakes. You know what they say. You know what they say. When there's a divide in the community, the kingdom will collapse. We've seen it in Arsenal fan base. You'll see it in football teams. You'll see it in anything. When there is a divide in the community, it will collapse, people. It will collapse. And that's what's happening in his football club. Unfortunately, for Ole, who's got a good squad, he's not the best coach. He doesn't know how to get the best out of these players. So he's kind of contributed it towards it himself. Should they turn on him? Human psychology would tell you that they're going to turn on him. It's simple as that. If you're at a workplace and you work, I don't know, even if you work at McDonald's and you've got a great team, but the boss is making ridiculous decisions, and there's someone in that McDonald's team who's a little bit influential, he will turn other people against that leader. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. He's a nice man. But he's just not ready for Man United. Will he ever be? Probably not. To deal with the high-end players, the luxury players, the big personality players, etc. So I'm not comfortable with the players, because I was one of those players that used to do those things. And I'm always honest with you. I always speak about the way. I was the one that was talking around and saying, this manager's not got a clue. Why is he doing this? Why is he doing that? I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. And I know all I'd have to get is probably 4 or 5 players to get into the way that I was thinking. Before you know it, the manager was gone, because results weren't going anyway. And if 5 players don't run around, then you've got absolutely no chance. I will get to your comments, so make sure you keep putting them in. I will get to them, okay? It goes on to say, should Solskjaer leave, then it's understood that Conte is open to taking the job, which I think that's quite obvious. But his reservations about the club's structure, big problem when it came to Spurs, that one as well. Obviously, Pogba, if Conte comes in, I believe Pogba might move on. Ferguson's been visiting the training ground. Apparently, Ferguson and Edwards are the ones who have got the backing. Solskjaer's got the backing of those two, so they're fighting his corner, etc. Bloody blah, bloody blah. So let's get rid of that. So we go to a couple of your comments and see what you've got to say on this, because it's interesting. We do have some United fans in the chat as well. Hope I haven't missed any. Let's go back. Darren's in the building. Big up, Darren. Hope you are well. Big up everyone else. That control scroll wheel works too. I don't even know. This MacBook change. Listen, I have to keep going to settings and change things. It's my age. I'm not great with tech. I can tell you that. So Speak AA has put, that's nonsense, Fran. What is the main United way that we've been united in a decade? Listen, I think Conte comes in, but these players, certain players that people think they would play. Now, I've seen loads of people putting Pogba in that Conte team. I could be wrong, but I don't think Pogba's playing a lot in that Conte team. And I think Pogba will try same tricks and get the changing room or turn against Conte, and Conte will just get rid of you. He ain't like Ole. Conte will just get rid of you. Simple as that. You ain't playing, son, at the door, regardless whether the fans like a player or not. You've seen how ruthless he can be. So I think, I'm not sure if Pogba would be happy. You know, would Pogba be happy with Conte? Don't get me wrong. We know that he did get the best out of him. So they have that relationship. Because that's why people are saying Pogba will play, Pogba will play. Because they do have that relationship. Because obviously the Juve link, etc., things like that. Would he play him in a different position? Interesting. Would he play him in a different position? I think completely to get the best out of Pogba, Pogba needs to be playing in a position how he's really, really comfortable with. And will Conte come in and just try and shore it up, or will he allow Pogba to do that? I mean, if he's got he did so well with him last time, maybe he will put him in that position. Ole is too inexperienced manager for a big club like Man United. Losing the final last year showed that Emre outfought him, but the players deserve stick as well. The players are disgusting, by the way, and I put it out there. No one's talking about these players. These players, and I'm going through experience. I've been there myself. It's disgusting behavior what these players are doing, but it happens at football clubs. Soon as they lose belief, soon as they lose interest, soon as it's easy to put the manager under the bus. Easy. And Ollie's not the guy to put players under the bus, is he? It's easy. So the players are a disgrace. And for me, if I was a fan, I'd be equally unhappy and disgusted with the players, to be honest, through mentality more than anything. When I saw Ronaldo do the finger motion and look baffled on the pitch, I knew it was done. Yeah, listen, it's always going to be a problem when Ronaldo coming. Ollie, poor man management along with Arteta. Pogba was dropped as soon as he said we need to find a new way of playing. I think the thing is with that, Ollie's probably looking at that comment and thinking, how dare you, considering you ain't done nothing for me this season, and you're telling me we need to play a different way. Ollie's probably looking at it that way and saying, how dare you? Because I would, if I was a manager, I'd be looking at, wait a minute, how dare you start saying we should be playing a different way when you ain't tried a bean this year? Except for the first 3 games or whatever it was. So I get where I get Ollie's probably thinking, because Pogba's influential in that dressing room. Pogba's a bad apple. Pogba's a bad apple. I was one. I've seen it from a mile off. I've known Pogba is a bad apple. If he's not playing or Pogba's moody, he'll want the rest of the changing rooms to be moody. That's just immaturity. I get that. It's his age, and he may never work on self-development, and he may never get better. I imagine he will with age. But he is a bad apple when things are not going right. That's why Arteta came in, and Arteta got rid of the people that he thought, if they're not playing, they will make my dressing room poison. And he got rid of them. And only time will tell whether that was the right thing for Arteta to do. He's going around a curve at the moment, and he's continuing to go around that curve. If he wins tonight and wins Saturday, then everyone's saying that it's really, really starting to work. And it's funny how things do change very quickly in football. And what I thought was funny was I'm very careful of what I say about other teams. As you know, I'm not one of those who really get emotionally attached to other teams. If teams win, if teams lose, doesn't really bother me. I don't despise many teams. I think it's because I played, and then I have people who played in those clubs or family members supported those clubs, etc., and things like that. So I'm very cautious and careful of what I say, because season's a very long time and things change very quickly. They always say in football, 7 days is a very long time in football. And it wasn't too long ago, the Man United fans, because sometimes I looked on the YouTube, were mocking, and a lot were mocking Liverpool because of their injuries and the crisis that they had. Still finished 3rd or 4th or whatever it was. And then it quickly moves, and it moved to Arsenal, the joke club, the mocking the club, etc. All of a sudden, within a month, it's now gone to Man United. And all these Man United fans I went on a couple of shows, were laughing and were really, mocking, but in a friendly way. Some people were quite vile, not towards me. It moves quite quickly. So I always think, listen, you've got to be very, very careful about what you say in football, because it could, about players, about teams, managers, because it can quickly turn around, and you may have to eat humble pie. And some people don't like having to admit that they were wrong. Some people don't like that. So you've got to be careful. I think it was rumored that Eric Bailly was highly upset with an unfit Maguire starting ahead of him. Yeah, I think it was. I didn't know it was him, but I heard that someone was not happy at all. Not happy at all. Not happy at all. Where were we? When Pogba was at Juve, we had Vidal playing with him and did all the hard work for him. Very true, Tuco is saying. Rubbish Fran, Conte is one of a few who could make Pogba stay at that dead club. Listen, the only good thing that they would have is Pogba seems on history to have a good relationship with Conte. So Conte is going to come in and he would trust Pogba from how he was at Juve. Whether he plays him in the same position is different because Pogba seems to be able to play in one position. Now, if he plays him in that position and he starts to get the best out of Pogba, rosy, everything's nice. The fruit is growing well. However, there's a lot more problems at Man United that Conte may have to work with before that happens. And that's where there could be a slight problem. So, like I say, history would tell you he would get the best out of him. But history is history for a reason. It's been and gone. So it would be interesting. But listen, for the Premier League, I want to see Conte in here. Simple as that. I'm not bothered whether Man United do well or not. But they're one of the biggest clubs in the world. And, you know, they need to have a world elite manager. That is for sure. Pogba doesn't run enough for Conte. See, he got the best out of him at Juve, you know. Tony Montana's in the building say Pogba might sign a new contract with Conte. He brought him to Juve. Yeah, that relationship's going to be good. We need that. We need that, though. Too many soft players. We want players that want to win. And if your feelings are hurt, so is business. And a lot of these players, I think a lot of these players, there's certain players in this Man United squad who will turn up and say, you know what, I'm ready. Now Conte's here, I'm ready. And there's some players that will be thinking, I'm a bit nervous now that he's in here because I know how ruthless he can be. So it's going to go both ways. But one thing is, definitely, there ain't no way Liverpool are beating Man United 5-0 if Conte's there. There's no possible way, people. No possible way. Oh, Curved Glass with a super chat, as always, great support. I was taught to be kind. Big up, Fran. Hey, listen, being kind is kind of hard work at times, you know. We can't be kind to everyone or we'd be perfect, won't we? And we're never going to be that. So, but as you get older, we get better. But again, super chat. And what a great super chat, by the way, people. Great super chat. Taught to be kind. I'll leave that on there for a while because I think we need to do that. Jadon Sancho must be wishing he stayed at Dortmund for another season, seeing as Liverpool was an option for him. Liverpool would have been a great move for him, I think. The way that Liverpool play, the joking, the mocking, and the banter is part of parcel of being football fans on rival teams. Yeah, as long as people don't get too, you know, some people get really, really aggressive and quite personal. But the other things, like I say, mocking them, but you got to be very, very careful what you say because it turns around very quickly. I'm all for mocking, but you know, there's a lot of people out there and they'll mock, and then when it happens to them, they're angry. And I'm like, well, why would you do it in the first place? You know, just don't do it. Banter and Vittorio are two different things. Yeah, exactly. Listen. Banter's banter. Sancho must be crying inside. Man United is done as long as Glazer and Ollie's there. Listen, Glazers ain't going nowhere. That's for sure. They've just put 150 million or whatever they put into it. They've got Ollie, two magnificent players, some of the best players in the world. They've gone and got one of the most prolific goal scorers we've ever seen in the game. And Ollie's just not been able to get it right. And these players have not helped him. Now, some would say, but Fran, these players, the manager's asking them to do things that he shouldn't be doing. He's making decisions that he shouldn't be doing. And that's definitely that's the main reason that these players have down tools, because these players have down tools 100%. So he's not helped himself. And by being a manager, I'm not an experienced manager. I have no desire to be a manager. But the obvious thing for me would be to try and build a team I'm going to get the best out of, which is they're going to work hard for me. And I just don't understand why managers go in and try and come on and go in and be the man, you know. Come on, Fran, how are you doing up soon settings, blaming Pogba when you got Ronaldo throwing arms? No, I'm not blaming Pogba at all. I'm just saying, I've said Pogba's one of those players who would definitely be poison in the dressing rooms for the manager. Ronaldo will 100% be. Yeah, Bruno Fernandes would be one of another one. Listen, I'm not a fan of Pogba. Doesn't do enough for me at all. And I know what type of character he is, you know, so I can't look beyond that. What I know what he's about. You know, he came on the other day. You're 3-0 down or whatever against Liverpool. Now the old me, the me now, is saying, you know, if you're a leader, you pull your sleeves up and you try and get some out of the game. You don't give the ball away and walk and then get frustrated and snap someone in off. However, when I was playing at that age, if I had to come on at 3-0 down, I would have done, and most probably did, do exactly the same thing. So I have to look at it from both angles. I'm just looking at it from differently now because I'm older. Like Ronaldo, going mad at Greenwood when you don't pass to him, and all these things that I see in football that for me are not good to have. I get it. Ronaldo shouldn't be doing it. He's 36, but I get it. I get the younger generations doing it. So there's many players. So it's not just Pogba. And if it came across that way, then, you know, maybe I'll just mention his name more. Fran, do you think Ole has disrespected Cavani by putting him on the bench when he offers more of the team Ronaldo? Listen, he's not going to play ahead of Ronaldo, is he? He's not going to play, because the minute that they don't win a game, every Man United fan and probably fan in the world would say, why is he playing Cavani ahead of Ronaldo? Even though Cavani works better in the way that he wants to play, people don't see that. So that's why. That's why he's not going to. And Cavani wanted to leave anyway. I think he'll be off. The joke, seen that one, etc. What else we got? Craig has put, Arsenal are the third biggest club in England, so why can't we get a Conte or Elite? Because we're trying to run it very, very differently. Very, very differently. We're running our football club. Eros has put too many egos at United, in my opinion. Not just the manager, but the players as well. 100%. The dressing room is too big for Ole to handle, in my opinion. Yep. Yo, all the gooners popped in. Rashid is saying Ronaldo has done his job. He's contributed towards him getting sacked. I can tell you that. Pogba are poisoning the dressing room. What are you saying, Fran? Oh, 100%. Listen, if you understand players and you know the body language of players and the influence that they have by personalities, you would 100%. Now, I can bet my bottom dollar. If I speak to Rooney's brother tomorrow and ask Rooney to speak and ask him to speak with Rooney, he'd find out probably 100% that Pogba is bad, would be bad in that dressing room. Telling you that when he's not playing. 100%, absolutely 100%. But there's others. I'm not just naming him, but he's very influential in that dressing room. Maguire and Shaw were shocking, and no one criticized them, but they are quick to blame Pogba. Listen, Pogba's always going to get it. When you come with a status, a price tag, you're running around and all this stuff, and you're giving it all these shapes and all that stuff, you're gonna get it. That's just how it is. It's society. It attracts it to you. Maguire was awful, and to be fair to Shaw's gone off the boil, but he's been decent most of it. But he's been rushed back too much. Maguire has been rushed back too much. Fran, thoughts on Benitez linked to Newcastle? I think it's ridiculous because he's been bang average at Everton at the moment. So why would you do that? They need to go for someone brand new. I know that the one who was the Tottenham one, he was supposed to be in there apparently. Talks are ongoing. Pogba just show me the dollars. I think it's a little bit harsh. I think it's a little bit harsh, but yeah. Even Ronaldo's dressing room pointing if things are going south. 100%. Personalities. Can you give examples of how a player messes up a dressing room, Fran? I'll just go off the way the experiences that I have. So if you're not playing, every player wants to play. No matter who you are, every player in the world wants to play. Now, there are some players, by the way, not naming certain players at Arsenal, who likes a phone, who quite happily wants to sit on a bench, not be nowhere near, pick up his money and not give himself a test. There are players who don't have a pair of nuts, okay? But most players want to be playing football at the best level that they can play at. Now, when you're not involved, and I'm just going off my experience and the thing that happens in most dressing rooms. So if you're quite one of the lads and you're one of the better players and you've got a little bit about you and a little bit of clout and you're kind of like one of the geezers in the dressing room. When you don't play, your personality can't do nothing but let everyone know that you're unhappy. Okay? Now, in football, people are unhappy if they don't want to play, but they expect you to deal with it in a very, very professional manner. Now, you're mid-20s. We weren't millionaires, nowhere near millionaires, okay? Not even 10% or whatever it is. Because these are millionaires, middle-aged, young men, okay? Young men So when they're not happy, they don't know how to be professional or control their disappointment of being left out, like a James Milner, like a Gareth Barry. Not many players are mature enough to do that. So all of a sudden, it just starts by you complaining to the next person next to you. So Pogba, say for example, we use Pogba or Ronaldo or wherever, and they'll moan. Can't believe what this manager's doing. Can't believe what this manager's doing. As if that happened. And then if they lose, the players then start saying, well, listen, if I weren't playing, or if me and you weren't playing, if me and you were playing, you know that wouldn't have happened. And it starts that way. It's like the Chinese whispers. You tell someone one thing, they're going to tell someone else completely different. Then it goes round the dressing room before you've probably got half of the team, because all footballers think alike, by the way, half of the team convinced that the manager is doing it wrong. And that's how it works of being a bad apple in the dressing room. That's how it works. And that's and once it's with you, it's very hard to get rid of it. I had moved to the Premier League, fall through. I had 2 moves to the Championship, fall through, because I found out that the manager who I fell out with would tell everyone that I was a bad apple, etc., etc. Yet I saved them their job many, many times. So, and not just me, there's other players like that I've met in changing rooms, etc. But it is down to the player. The player can't blame anyone. As you're older now, you understand. But back then, you don't know that, So that's how it works. 100% agree. I do not think Glazers will get another leader, to be honest, or if they do, it's going to be too late. Very true. Pogba is Ollie out. He's down tools just like the other players, 100%. Alan's in the building. He's put just arrived. Hope all is well, Fran. Show me the 7 out of 10 years he has been at Man U. English bias. Give him all the protection he gets. Listen, Shaw's been up and down. Mourinho did him proper, but he came back from that. Smile, it will either warm their heart or piss them off. Either way, you win. Yeah, listen, you should love the haters. Maguire is 80 million Championship, centre the back, biggest Prem hustle to date. Listen, he can be very good. He's shown how good he is for England, but he can also switch off. Man's tapping his capitals. Yeah, Craig wants to be seen today. He's not messing around, mate. Get those capitals. Sometimes I just do it in capitals for no reason. Only the English core players are Ollieing because they're garbage. Big up Fran Richard. He's put being AWOL for a while. Hope all these good people. Cheers. No problem. We're just talking about the craziness, what's going on with Ollie at the moment. And Marcus has just put, I think that this will be a positive for United. He have to touch the mud to be able to reach the top. I think he'll be gone. The only way that these players turn up for him now is if someone puts a little bit on the players and say, listen, you're embarrassing this football club, because they're the ones that have to go on the field, by the way. Firmino was MOM against Firmino's unsung. He's a top player. People just think about goals, but he's a top player. Martial and Pogba should have been sold 2 years ago. Interesting. I think people are just waiting for Pogba to do something. I can tell you that. Just waiting and waiting. So we will see. Right, people. Enough on United. I'm going to quickly just touch on Arsenal. We'll just do a 45-minute one, and then we're going to 45-minute one. And then we're going to do a watch along again later on. I know it's Carabao Cup, but I believe both teams will put strong teams out. I really, really do. So quickly, Arsenal, we don't know who's going to play. This is another game. We always say take it game by game, but this is another game that Arteta doesn't need to win, but would really, really help him in this journey that he is going on. It's starting to slightly get a little bit quiet amongst the fan base. You've still got some fan base, and like I said earlier, once there's divide in the community, the kingdom will collapse. And look at the Arsenal fan base. I mean, no one can say anything about anyone. There was a lot of hype around Saliba and Guendouzi the other day. We watched the game, and let's be honest, they didn't do anything special except for what they're supposed to do, which was run around and do the odd tackle here, there, and everywhere. Yet the media and people are trying to hype it up left, right, and center. Allow them to just play their football, and if they're good enough or they come back, we will see. Guendouzi ain't coming back. I can't see that one happening, but Saliba, we will see. So going on tonight's game, listen, we always do all right against Leeds. So I'm more confident now. Definitely now I've seen that performance against Villa. I'm a lot more confident. Question is, can they get the attitude, the mindset. They are in momentum. Football is all about momentum. So hopefully that the momentum is continuing and they're now starting to believe. Like Arteta said, Aubameyang is putting the graft in. He's got a smile back on his face. And when you put Aubameyang and someone up next to him, of course he's going to have a smile on his face because he's got someone to play with rather than running into dark alleys on his own, to dead ends. So for me, I think we'll win this game tonight. I think it'll be another win. And then it gives us a good momentum to go in against Leicester. And Leicester, for me, will be another one of those because we said Brighton was one of the games that we need to be tested. And then we said Villa. Leicester will be another one of those games to give us a measurement of where we are and which way we are actually going. Because I believe it's at Leicester. The environment's going to be different. It's not a derby. It's not like a Villa game where we've got something to prove because of the Martinelli, ESR, Buendia. They've been mocking us. This is just a normal Premier League game against a better team. So it's interesting to see how they go against Leicester. But one game at a time, and the first game is obviously Leeds. I believe that we'll win tonight. People are saying which youngsters should we put in. If the youngsters were going to be in, they should have been in against Wimbledon. So maybe you might see the odd one, and it would be good to see one of them from the under-23s maybe. But we will see. But I think Martinelli should play. You know, Ashton's saying, does Martinelli start? I think Martinelli and Pepe should start. Not sure he would play down the middle because Lacazette got cramp and was very tired and might need a rest. And Aubameyang, you want to protect him. So who do you play down the middle? You don't want to play Nketiah down the middle. He's just not good enough. So it'll be interesting to see who plays down the middle. And Ødegaard will probably come into that 10 role. But I believe the weekend we will go back to the same formation, which means Ødegaard won't be able to play in that formation because he's not that type of player. So let's go to a couple of your comments. Imagine Rooney took over. Imagine Rooney took over. That would be crazy. Do you think Loftus-Cheek is better than Smith-Rowe? The different types of players. Talent-wise, Loftus-Cheek is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. He's had a very, very bad injury. He's been very inconsistent. People forget he's probably still only, what is he? What's Loftus-Cheek? 22, maybe? Maybe a little bit older. Feels like he's been around for years. Oh, he's 25. Wow, I didn't know that. He's 25. He should have been England's main midfielder. He should have bossed everything. You know, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, apparently by rumours, when was in the agent game, was on 10 grand a week before he got anywhere near the first team because every club in the world wanted Loftus-Cheek at 15. The kid was 6 foot at 15, was running the show. Talent-wise, it's unbelievable. But he's just missing something. He's had some injuries. He's had been on loans, consistency. And it doesn't matter how much talent you got. You need consistency and you need a little bit of luck along the way. And normally luck comes from your own belief and your consistency of hard work. So I can't compare them. One's 25, been in the Prem for ages. One's brand new. He's enthusiastic. He's buzzing at the moment. He's a little bit hit and miss. He has the blinkers on, but he'll learn that as he plays. He's not 18, but he is 20, maybe 20, 21. I can't remember. So he's still got a few years for him to develop. And I think he will because he seems very, very hungry to develop. He enjoys playing football. You know, he really, really enjoys playing football. Let me make sure I don't miss a couple of them. Guendouzi made a couple of good passes. Mbappe on CB pocket in Real Madrid. It was good, but it weren't great. I mean, the game was terrible. Mbappe was just running in behind. It wasn't great. Saliba did okay, and Guendouzi did okay. I didn't see anything more than that, in my opinion. Rooney taking over, it'll be badass. Oh, mate, it'll be Ollie. God. Fran, Chelsea have the best academy in the world. 3 academy players scored against Norwich. Yeah, they do. One of them. And the reason is because they've got so much depth. So much depth. So Eros is saying no Rafinha. Massive miss for them. One of the best players in the Premier League, in my opinion. Would Nuno or save him for Leicester? Interesting, because I'm not sure whether Tierney's fit, etc. I mean, Nuno needs games, so he's not going to be. The only problem is if he got an injury, you can't be like that when you're playing players. You've got to play games. He needs games. So for me, I would play him to get some momentum. Leeds will be playing their under 23s, 18s if we don't win in 90 minutes. Arteta out. Leeds may do. Yeah, they're not interested in the cup, but you never know. They might do. Hope Saka is not playing tonight. He needs a rest. I think it would be a good game to rest him. It would be a good game to rest him. Very good game to rest him, I can tell you that. Eddie, and then rather see Martinelli than Balogun. Balogun's not ready yet. I said it before, and I'll say it again. People get ahead of themselves. Loftus-Cheek's average, them stiff legs. I mean, talent-wise, ridiculous. Can boss a game, but he's just not done it. I mean, you look at the likes of Ross Barkley. I mean, unbelievable footballer. Like, ridiculous. What, 6 foot, absolute built, like, awesome on the ball. Mentality. He loves a night out. Loves a night out. Loves away. You got to be the best and to fulfill your potential. You've got to have something special. And I'm telling you now from and I always say from experience, because that's where I have to go from. Once I got to a certain position, I was like, yeah, I might go to the Prem. I might not. You know, I'm getting paid. I'm playing football. That's enough at times. That's the mentality that killed me. Some of these players who are millionaires, it's easy for them to just say, listen, I'm already rich. I'm sitting on a 4-year deal, 150 grand a week. You know, if I play. So what? Big night out tonight. You know, that's the mentality. And sometimes you got to think, if I went back to then and I was on that money, wow, you'd have seen me all over the back of the news of the world. If I was in the Prem back then, probably. I can tell you that. I can tell you that. Marshall's put big up, Fran. Big up yourself. Hope you are well. Marshall's, we smoked United. Yeah, they sure did. They sure did. Maybe Pepe and Martinelli could play up front too. Yeah, I'd like to see a 4-4-2 again for other personnel. Ross Barkley let me down. I had high hopes for him. Unbelievable footballer. Unbelievable footballer. And I seen like Burnley may be interested in him. I mean, what a sad end. Ødegaard needs to turn up and actually don't ghost in the game. If we play 4-4-2, Ødegaard can't play. He's not that type of player. If we play 4-3-3, he'll play, but you need to give him the ball. Like I say, you know I'm a massive fan of him, but I'm also real. Like, he cannot play in a team that one's not playing well and two can't find him. No player, you've seen a little bit at the moment, like the PSG team can't find Messi. They can't find, not used to him. And at times, Messi will be guilty of maybe going into areas where at Barcelona he would get the ball. These players are not good enough. The football's different for him to not get the ball at PSG. This is Messi, the greatest player, arguably the greatest player I've ever seen on the planet, who is a complete footballer, and even he can't pick up the ball. So Ødegaard's got no chance if we can't see him. I mean, last 2 games, his first touch has been horrific, but he has to be in a team, one, that's going to find him, and 2, that's going to have most of the ball. And I think we've not stumbled across, because I think every fan in the world knew that we had to go 4-4-2. A formation that's going to work for Arteta more than his clever overthinking micromanagement, you know? Gave a like. We'll catch up later. Big shout out. Big respect to you each and every time. Right, people. Like I said, I'm only going to do 45 minutes. I've got my dinner to eat at the moment. I will see you for the watch along later on. I know some of you pop in and out of me and Curtis. So big up to each and every one of you. Again, I hope you're having a great week. I hope you're being positive. If you've not already, go and check out Green Mind video. I'm going to put it in the chat now, actually. Just about a few books, because I know a lot of you have asked. You've asked me about books, and I've just put down the 5 books that I've been interested in and what have helped me. Like I say, I've got many other books, and I'll probably do another video on those books as well. But I'm just going to put this in there. Just put this in there. If you go and check it out, give it a sub. Might help you through the week. Give it a like. Go and check that out. So there you go, people. Hit the link. Go and give that channel a little sub as well. I don't put any titles in for the algorithm. I hardly put hashtags in at times. I put it on there and let it grow organically, doing its thing. Just a little hobby thing that I like doing when in my spare time. So Fran, you have a stock stream. Smooth 1J. Stock? I don't know what you mean. What, as in, do I have a stock of videos to put on there? I'm not too sure. Listen, I'm an old dog out here with this tech. That might be a word I don't even know. So let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Big up, Fran. Big up yourself, Tubbs. Hope everyone is well. Like you say, I'm just going to shoot off now as well. And I will see you later on for the watch along. Big up each and every one of you.